Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video here on the Water Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Houston Texans 10-year rebuild. This is episode number 10, year number 10. The finale is upon us, and all I can say is this has been a success to an extent. In the first 5 years of this rebuild, we won 2 championships. And then in the next 5 years, or at least in the next 4 years, up until this point, we really haven't done much else. So you could say it's a success, obviously, because we won 2 championships, but that was in the very, very beginning. What's going to happen in year number 10, now that we don't have CJ Stroud anymore? I'm curious. I know you guys are curious too. Let's find out. Let's cut to the chase and find out what's going to happen in year number 10. Hit that like button if you go and enjoy. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Juice Club, and let's get started. Here we are for the final season. The final time we will see these guys. We start the year, as we always do, setting our season goal, winning the Super Bowl. I mean, there's nowhere to go else. We're not going to go to year number 11. We got to win the Super Bowl here. Maybe we can make it our first ever 3-time winner in these 10-year rebuild series that I've done. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the final roster. There will be no free agency. There will be no draft. This is all we got. No more CJ Stroud. We've got ourselves Michael Mason. We traded for him in the end of last episode. He's a 99 overall, a true 99, which is something that CJ was not. He was a 97. And these are his numbers. These are his attributes, all his ratings. We're going to find out if Michael Mason can replace CJ Stroud and get us that championship that he just wasn't able to do in the last couple of years. But we've been able to keep this team relatively intact. We've kept Marvin Harrison throughout everything. We've kept Jordan Addison basically throughout everything. And we've kept Brandon Ayuk basically throughout everything. So we basically kept this offense pretty much the same, and the offense pretty much the same as well, or the offensive line. And then on defense, this is what our final defense will look like. We've still got Willie Anderson Jr. We still have JTT, Kenny Jordan, Witherspoon, Meeks, Van Ness, Philbin, who's actually turned out to be pretty good. Stump is here, Amos. This team is good enough to win a championship. We'll just see if the simulation is kind to us, and we'll see how our new guy Michael Mason does in the offense. But that is going to be all that we have to do for the first half here. We're going to simulate to the midseason mark, see where this team is, and kind of get a feel for how this end of the season is going to go. I'll see you guys at the midseason mark. We've made it to the midseason mark, and look what we have here. We got ourselves a little undefeated squad. 7-0 Houston Texans. It looks like Michael Mason is fitting in very nicely here in Houston as he carries this organization to possibly the final championship we will ever get. Jahmyr Gibbs doing very well. The offensive line holding up pretty well. Only 3 receivers, but I'm happy with who we have. I mean, we do have Calvin Pryor, so technically we have 4 receivers that I trust. And then on defense, JTT, Stump, Anderson holding it down on the D-line. And then you got Philbin and Van Ness. This team's ready, man. We are ready to fulfill our destiny and get that 3rd championship, that ever so elusive 3rd championship. Let's simulate to the end of the year and hopefully, maybe, just stay undefeated. That'd be awesome, because that's something else that I haven't ever done in a 10-year rebuild, is simulate an undefeated season. So I don't think it's going to happen. I'm expecting 15-2. That's usually what happens with these things, or 14-3, something like that. But as long as we are the 1 seed and we have a good second half of the year, I'll be happy. I will see you guys in the playoffs. We made it to the end of the final season. We make the playoffs. We won the division, 13-4. We didn't go undefeated. Maybe I jinxed it. I don't know. Whatever. But we still had a very, very good year. Not our best year. We've had better years. I think we even finished 15-1 one season. Didn't win the Super Bowl, but we did finish with like 15 wins. I'm pretty sure that happened at least once or twice. So 13-4 is not great, but it is still very good for the final year. I'm curious to see some of these numbers and see why we were so good this season. Michael Mason puts up 4,900 yards and 47 touchdowns in the new look offense. I like to see it. 11 interceptions as well is not too shabby. I like it. I like it. I like it. Defensively, we got Jahmyr Gibbs with another great year, 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. I'm so happy we're able to swap to get Jahmyr Gibbs. That makes me very, very happy because he's turned out to be very awesome. And he was only normal development when we got him in, and now he's star, maybe even superstar after the end of the season. But we will never find out. 2 1,000-yard receivers, Jordan Addison. I can't explain how massive of a get Jordan Addison was when we traded for him after, I think, the first season. He was so big to grab. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. 11 touchdowns as well. Calvin Pryor had 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison never really shined like I maybe wanted him to, but he was always playing second, third fiddle to Brandon Ayuk and Jordan Addison. So he never got that true number one potential. But he could have had it. He showed flashes. He just never got that true push. 10 touchdowns as well for Harrison. Defensively, we had 129 tackles from Marquise Philbin. This man showed up out of nowhere, normal development, and had 5 straight years of 100-plus tackle seasons. He was unbelievable. One of the best draft picks I've ever made in one of these 10-year rebuilds. Absolutely unreal in terms of just tackle production. Devin Witherspoon was great. Will Anderson, again, has a phenomenal year on the sacks ratings, or sack numbers, I should say. He ended with 26, which is by far the best. Then we had JTT with 12. Spencer Stump had 12 as well. And then we kind of dropped off a little bit more. Lucas Van Ness really never turned out to be the guy that I was hoping he could be. But we didn't pay him to be that guy. I was just kind of hoping he would overperform his overall. He never really did. Interception numbers. We had 6 for Kenny Jordan, which is unreal. Philbin also added 3 to his great season. Amos had 3. So did Randy Hayes. A couple guys had 1. Very awesome. Very good numbers. I'm happy to see those numbers from the boys. We look really good. We look pretty confident. We're ready to go. I guarantee you we lose to the Baltimore Ravens in the wild card round. That's usually how these go. We have a great regular season and we lose in the wild card round. Let's see what happens. Yep. I hate this game, man. God, I hate this game. How do we have that good of a season and not beat the Ravens in the wild card round? We were clearly the better team. I'm pretty sure we were the 2 seed, weren't we? I'm pretty sure we were the 2 seed. Yeah, we were the 2 seed going up against the freaking Ravens, who were the worst team in the NFL that made the playoffs, and we couldn't even beat them. I hate this game so freaking much, man. It doesn't make any sense. It literally does not make any sense. I don't understand it. I don't understand it one bit. So we end the 10 years with 2 championships, which is still very, very good because the Cardinals one we only ended with 1, and that was in the final year. So we do end on a successful side of things with 2 championships. Just we got them very, very early. I stuttered there for a second. Very early. It is Lions and Bengals for the championship, for the 10th championship. Okay. Let's see who wins it. I'll pick the Bengals just because they're the Bengals. And I'd like to see the Lions be disappointed. And they will continue to be. Lions lose to the Bengals in the final Super Bowl of the series. Joe Burrow gets the MVP, and he does the double dip and wins the MVP of the league as well. Willie Anderson Jr. has made history. We're gonna take a look back at all the defensive players of the year, but my man Willie Anderson Jr. is a Hall of Famer. Absolute no doubt. So year number 1, The Jets beat the Giants in the Super Bowl. Rodgers is the MVP. Joe Burrow also won the MVP of the league. Then we've got Dak Prescott and the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl in year number 2 against the Chargers. Year number 3, we get there, maybe a little bit surprisingly. Maybe we were undeserving, but CJ Stroud got us there. We won the Super Bowl. Congratulations. And funny note, Michael Mason won the Rookie of the Year this year, who is our quarterback now. Then in year 4, the Ravens beat the Cowboys. CJ Stroud won his first MVP. Year number 5, we get back to the championship game. We beat the Bears, and Tremaine Edmonds is the MVP of the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow also wins his second MVP of the league. Then in year 6, right? Yeah, year 6, the Buccaneers beat the Bills badly. Year 7, the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl and beat the Cowboys. So the Cowboys are pretty consistent, but this is where we start the streak of dominance from Will Anderson Jr. We are in year number 7. He won Defensive Player of the Year. Year number 8, he wins. No, he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year. Did he not win Defensive Player of the Year consistently? I thought he did. CJ Stroud also won 2 MVPs, though, so that's awesome. Ravens beat the Eagles. Then we have Chiefs beat the Bears. I could have sworn that Will Anderson Jr. won Defensive Player of the Year consistently. Or was that on the Cardinals? That might have been on the Cardinals, because we had Will Anderson Jr. on both. That might have been the Cardinals, that he was like 5 years in a row or whatever it was. He won the Defensive Player of the Year. He got a few, and he's probably still a Hall of Famer, so that still stands. But Joe Burrow won like 3 MVPs, 4 MVPs, something like that, and another MVP in the Super Bowl for Joseph Burrow. That's the history of the league. We only made the Super Bowl twice, and we won it both times. We probably, arguably, should have made it more than twice. But that's the way that this game does it sometimes, man. It screws you over. It sucks. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's go see how CJ Stroud's career went. I think we traded him to the Dolphins. Is that right? Yeah, he's on the Dolphins. So in his career, he threw for 48,000 yards, 396 touchdowns, 113 interceptions. That is a phenomenal stat line from CJ Stroud. Then let's get back to our team to see some of our other guys, because I just wanted to see CJ's numbers since he was the main quarterback. So Michael Mason had a good career as well. Not as good as CJ's, but the playbook was obviously different for CJ. Rushing numbers, Jahmyr Gibbs had 11,000 rushing yards and 75 touchdowns. That's pretty crazy. Receiving numbers, Jordan Addison even passed Brandon Ayuk, who's a real player. 13,900 yards for Jordan Addison, 140 touchdowns. Is that Hall of Fame worthy? I don't know. Marvin Harrison got 7,000 yards and 44 touchdowns. Calvin Pryor had 7,000 yards and 64 touchdowns. Some good numbers from the guys that we drafted. Very, very nice to see. Very happy. Defensively, I'm expecting to see Marquise Philbin up here, and he's third. Devin Witherspoon had 860 tackles in his career, 770 for Will Anderson Jr., 707 for Marquise Philbin. Tui Molau had 582, Van Ness had 541. You love to see some of these guys that you drafted see their careers blossom. Tackles for loss leaders is Will Anderson Jr., obviously with 184. No surprises there. There's JTT, Spencer Stump. Sack leaders in the career, you could have bet your entire life savings that it was going to be Will Anderson Jr. 167.5 is unreal for a player of Will Anderson Jr.'s caliber. JTT 85 or 88.5, 28.5 for Spencer Stump. He just didn't play long enough. And then Van Ness had 26, and then it kind of drops off a little bit from there. Interception numbers in the career. Devin Witherspoon leads everybody with 22. Then Kenny Jordan, our X-Factor generational player, had 16. Marquise Philbin, the linebacker, had 12. I'd say Marquise Philbin, out of everybody, obviously not including Will Anderson Jr., was probably the best player that we ever had on this team on defense. He was so good. So good. Van Ness had 9 interceptions. Randy Hayes had 7. Amos had 6. He just didn't play long enough to get a lot of them. A lot of these guys are a little bit too young to play to get like the really crazy numbers. But that is going to be the end of the season and of the series. 10 years are in the books. We've won 2 championships. It's a success. We sold our souls to the devil to win those 2 championships, and we didn't get anything else after that. But we rebuilt the Texans. Check mark, 1 championships. Texans now have those in their trophy case, and we can say that we did it. We can walk away confidently saying that we rebuilt the Texans into championship contenders. Hope you guys enjoyed. We are going to do probably one more 10-year rebuild in Madden 23 cycle. I've talked about this in previous videos, how I'm going to end the 10-year rebuild cycle once Madden 24 comes out, and then towards the end of Madden 24 cycle, like what we did with Madden 23, the 10-year rebuilds will probably come back. Although I will do, at the very, very beginning of Madden 24, I will do my Patriots 10-year rebuild like I've done for the past couple of years on other Maddens. So that will come at the start of Madden 24. But other than that, there won't be any more following that until we get later into the cycle, probably around the same time that we started these ones, like in March, April, May, June, in the dead period of Madden is when the 10-year rebuilds will come out. So expect that stuff for Madden 24, but there will be one final 10-year rebuild series to end out Madden 23. I hope you guys are excited for that. That'll be coming in the next week, so be ready for it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, though. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly, truly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.